wherever you're watching from. My name is Krusher Recs. Say is I really lose nothing. It's about, I believe, to a degree. No, to a degree. To some of you who think outdo anyone, I'm not here to outdo anyone. I'm here just trying what I'm trying. Unlike some of you, I'm trying. Yeah, well, some of you clearly get mad when some people try. I'm trying, and I'm not trying to hold any grudges. Yeah, well, with anything, goes for anything. You should try. You should just. But what you try is either gonna be beneficial or it's gonna be destructive. Chaos, unbound, haywire, completely out of control, and going into, yeah, I'm striving to stay in control and to be in control as much. Um, it's been really interesting, you know, ever since I attempted like being that serious when it comes to this. I've had a whole lot of mixed feelings, being shown. A whole lot of people came up on here. Some of them loving me, some of them hating me, and of which has been very eye-opening. And there's nothing more than to just hopeful, because it's not like I'm rich. However means you've managed to get to that. It's not like I'm rich like some of you. I'm just trying what I'm trying. This is well, and I'm 27 years old, turning 28, meaning that I sort of don't have anything to lose. Even if I actually try this, because I'm gonna somehow end up a grown man who's old. At least I'm gonna have some content, yabo, to sort of go back to, remind myself, and be glad and be wanting to do. Current living, yabo. Um, I'm going into the new year, but the truth is, I have to work, I have to grind, yabo. Uh, Bugega, are you a human being? Because you just repeated a greeting. That's not okay. Tinashes Tole. Tinashes Tole. What are you doing? Where are you from? Where are you coming from? I'm coming from city of Mbumba. That's where I'm coming from. My name is Krusher Recs Refinator. After the haters, rapper, songwriter, content creator, one of the best rappers of his time. And the slogan goes to the name says, I really lose nothing. Huh. Okay. All right. So if you hit that like button, make sure that you share the content if it's to you, and make sure that you share the profile. Make sure that you share the current live. You see. So you haven't told me where you're from. You haven't told me where you're from, Bugega. And Tinashe, you still haven't told me where you're from. South Africa. If you're from South Africa, are you from the Western Cape? Are you from Pulukwane? Where are you from? Zikoblo, please. How are you, Zikoblo? How are you doing, Zikoblo? Zikoblo. If I'm mispronouncing the name, my apologies. My name is Krusher Recs Revenada, after Mother Haters, rapper, songwriter, content creator, one of the best rappers of his time, and the slogan goes to the naysayers. I really lose nothing with reiteration, Antoine, because you gotta know me. You gotta know me. I'm 27 years old, from South Africa, unemployed, don't own anything, and well, I became serious with as a means of guaranteeing a safe space, but not only just for myself, but for somebody who could be entertained out there, because yeah, man, we live in a sovereign world. It's not like we live in a world that now has to make it important than the other one. because there's no one who's, I know, the most richest person in the world. We're all equal. Because one thing is for sure, even if you could have your money, even if you could be a millionaire, even if you could be a trillionaire, you things some things won't change. Like the fact that if you are basic, you're just basic, and it you being basic and you being a normie is not going to be determined by the fact that maybe you have a whole lot of cash or maybe you dress a certain type of way. Because you could be in a position to dress a certain type of way and still be a normie and still be basic. Yeah, well, that's what I honestly believe. Yeah, well, because most people at the top, they most of the things that they own, or most of the things that they discover, or most of the things that they end up um, owning henceforth are a result of having sourced knowledge from someone who's at the bottom somehow to a degree, and if they are loyal like that, if they are not as arrogant like that, that person who helped them, I'm talking about the rich guy, the rich woman, because richness or wealth is not restricted to gender, especially the current world that we live in. Both females and males can literally be powerhouses, considering that the way of success is earnest and is ethical, of course. And yeah, man, that's just how it is. We no longer, it's most of the things that we've known to exist are slowly but surely starting to not make any sense at all. Because one thing is for sure, like if you were to marry a woman as a man, I don't think that things like the woman taking up your name, I don't think that, you know, Guti, that has to be a big deal because one thing is for sure, she's gonna give birth to your offspring, meaning that your offspring have to be the ones who take up the name. And if there are females who have come to that realization or have come to that light, yeah, it sort of makes sense because I mean, it's you being a person, you being an individual, not a gender. You have the capability to literally do what you must in order to survive. And it won't be determined by your gender or by your biological input. It will you having some sort of commitment and you having some sort of regiment. Sim the basics. The basics. You having some sort of regiment, you living up to an affirmation that you carry all the way. That's all you need. And you having those qualities is not determined by the gender. You being a male, you being female. You can literally be a female and sit in high places and be the most wisest person of them all. Not as arrogant and not as egoic as some of these modern feminists that want to sully the true essence of what it is to be feminine. Even if you could be feminine, and even if you could be feminine, a female in a high position, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be entirely arrogant and egoic and self-serving. You have the potential to be wise, to be honest to those around, and nurturing because being female is beyond all of the money and all of the riches that you could receive. Of course, I'm told. I know that I'm a male talking about being female, but I just want to be. I don't know. I want to be more modern about it because I mean we're modern. After all, we are sophisticated. I mean the age of technology and AI is just on a whole nother level. So might as well just assimilate because one thing is for sure, woman taking up your name doesn't always have to be. You could literally marry without her. If she feels like, okay, no, bro, it's really not necessary for me to take up your that, because you're gonna, obviously I'm gonna give you offspring is gonna be the ones that bear your name, because I don't want to be you bearing your name. I'm saying that if there is a female who come up having, because females are not the same, right? Because there's often a saying that even I have conformed to, that most females are the same. But truth is, not every female is the same, and not every female has the intention of another female, you know. But then, because of a few females, as a dude, as a modern dude, you're gonna end up thinking that most females are the same, because certain laws sort of cater to females more. So being 27, I'm 27, single, not dating, whatever, blah blah blah. Turning 28, as good as 30 years old, still not dating. I don't know. Meaning that within these latter parts of my existence, in terms of my adulthood, I'm willing to save up as much money as I have to. I said it, yes. I'm willing to save up as much money as I have to in order to guarantee a safer financial future for myself. Not only just for myself, but for my possible future offspring. Because I'm 27, single, childless, sexless. Shit, sexless, yes. But still, I just have to come back to reality and think of the fact that it's being a man, and being a man and having a family and having a home and raising children. It's way more than just convenience. By convenience, I'm referencing the fact that we age, right? We get older, blah blah blah. So because of that, we have to have people that are gonna take care of us. Who's gonna take care of us since we age? Blah 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 blah. Especially to us dudes, because we dudes, right? We're always concerned about that. Talking about dudes that are probably what, 18 to 20 something, pretty much. Because 18, if you're 18 years old, you're old enough. Believe me. I've witnessed that personally, because I'm 27 years old. I have some other youngins, coming up on me, trying to fight me up for real, and they really strong. Gotta say. So if you're 18 years old, you're old enough. Believe me. So from about 18 to 20, you have to be in the position to realize that your future is way more your future. Because yes, there is such a thing, future. Because we age, right? End up having gray hairs and everything, and blah blah blah, partial discoloration. Not because we want that, but that's just biology. And subtle changes to our ear structure, to our nose structure, because that's just how it is, right? We age, right? We don't stay young. You gotta, you always. It doesn't even matter how old you are in this regard. You could be 18, mentoring somebody. If you have a good heart like that, or you could be 25 mentoring somebody who's 18, vice versa, whatever. In terms of and where your finances are allocated and how you're, because going into the new year, guys, I've been stressing about it. Stressing about the kind of person that I want to really become. I'm gonna be 28 years old now. See, I'm as good as 30 years old. So, dude, my ways of living and my ways of thinking, they have to change. Going into the new year, but to going into the new year, but going into the first term of the new year. My mindset has to be fresh, bro. I'm fresh. I even have to cut the beard. This is a little quarantine beard. Since we've been at home ever since it became what it became. The end of the year, and since I'm always home, this is my quarantine beard. If I'd wanna refer to it, I'm gonna have to cut this. Gonna have to cut this. And I'm probably gonna come back next year having a fade, about having a young fade, looking all fly and shit. Maybe a little buff for some ladies out here, because they love buff dudes. Women love buff dudes. Even if they wanna deny it, women love buff dudes. Dudes with muscle, they love them. They adore them. Not like a lot of muscle, like those people from Brazil that inject in order to gain more defined muscles, of course. Because there are people who go to lengths. There are people who go to lengths in order to gain a physique that is aesthetic and pleasing and blah blah blah. They go to lengths. They risk their lives to make money. Because what is life? Because life is defined by money, right? In entirety, right? I think not. Like injecting dangerous oils into your lats or into your hamstrings in order to gain more defined lats, more defined hamstrings, more defined glutes, and holes poked into your damn flesh. Bunch of holes poked because you want to have an aesthetic physique, you want to have a good looking physique. It's very risky, you know. Yeah, it's very. And some people they think that most things have to be shortcuts. Nah, man. You know, nah. Not everything has to be a shortcut. You know, some people, for example, in this particular business, they are known because there are people who they are connected to, like agents in big places and shit. Not because it's like raw talent, because most rappers to begin with, since this channel is like a rapper channel or a rap channel or a rap freestyle channel, however you want to frame it, with a hint of current issues and shit like that, current happenings covered and all of that, right? So I know what I'm doing. Me particularly, I know what I'm doing. I recorded a dozen of songs that some of you don't know, but I did. And, those songs were very good songs. And within those years, I did a couple of performances in my neighborhood where I reside. Well, the people, of course, local people are local people. Considering ukuthi ngimswati, ngikhuluma Swati, I'm Goonie and shit. You get on there, you perform, they just you just be looking at you like that. And not only that, they be like, nigga, 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 yeah, yo, 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 nigga, nigga, yo, yo. They want you to be like all piano gang and shit. Paris Pink Girl, how you doing? How you doing, Paris Pink Girl? Where you from, baby? Where you from, honey? Don't be shy. Talk to me, baby. If you're really real, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because me and you, we could totally hitch. You feel me? So talk to me. Where you from, baby? Paris Pink Girl. Yeah, I know. You don't know me, but you're finna know me. You're about to know me. That's for sure. So I'm kidding. I'm just messing around. I do that. It's a part of the dynamic. I mean, if I were to be serious all the time, like what? What? Seriously? And of which that's what other people are prompting. People are prompting. People are prompting that I become so angry and out of control. All right, cool. Oh, Paris, Pink Girl. Okay, nice knowing you, Paris. I hope that you like rap. I hope that you like hip hop. I hope that you like real lyricism and real freestyling, not scripted freestyles. I'm just saying, haha. I hope that you really like the culture of hip hop, rap, and all of its underlying qualities misunderstood by the rest of the world. Yeah. That being said, yeah, they're letting. I was anticipating harshful comments. I've always been anticipating them. And you know why I'm anticipating them? The ones that are gnarly and stuff. Hey, 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 baby. Yeah, hey, I'm very slick with it. I don't wanna be pretending like I'm really competing. But these people out here are really fishing. hoping that I'm gonna be baiting. But I'm really not gonna be inciting anything. Yeah, I'm not even extremist to begin with. All of these people bayang suke, they just want to be warranted behavior that's really sophisticated. What I'm promoting. Even if this network is I'm not rapping anything that's scripted. Yeah, you may say good thing but look for my call. Okay, this gang I like you fun I take. Hey, tabang take yung fun of sa team and that's how it looks. Yeah, to begin with, I ain't gonna be telling anybody to be keeping up with what I really trying to be creating because they ain't never gonna be understanding it. Regardless, I really done thing and best believe that I'm hands on. I ain't really gonna be deceived by anything, cause as I'm coming on here, I'm really trying to be interactive. And even if you're gonna be flooding me, I'm probably gonna be guaranteeing something that you ain't never gonna be sabotaging this shit to begin with, because I hate to wait it out. Yeah, and my story is very much inspiring to somebody who's really organic and probably really shy in terms of the interaction. But I'm gonna be letting you know too, yeah, you ain't gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna be letting you know that you ain't gotta be shy. Oh yeah, very not like I'm trying to be rapping anything, what I'm trying to be doing with this shit. In Father to a scholar, Kwamanje, I want to be teaching some how this really goes on. Yeah, man, I'm a rap beast. You could never be in any leash. I'm gonna be thrashing and rapping. Had nothing to breathe. I came here on here fun, bro. It was like, I'm like Goku. I want to think of myself as Goku, you understand? Because it really doesn't matter what happens in toilet. It really doesn't matter what happens. I'm always like 10 toes. I'm always like watching. I'm always like, I even like surpass the bots when it comes to thinking, when it comes to surmising, when it comes to actual like formulating of like what's really going down. I got the low down. Yeah, I'm the king right now. Give me the crown. No matter what it is you decide to be doing, it's never gonna be causing me and my people to be losing it, because me and my people are so fluid. We be going through it so effortlessly. All of this hating that we be receiving really means nothing. It just means one thing. It be asserting the fact that we have to do a whole lot of improving, and best believe that I'm really prepared when it comes to such a faction. Yeah, I'm the one who be here. I ain't even made any preparation to begin with. You be saying a whole bunch of things that be really mean, but they don't really mean anything to me, because even if I am ugly, I didn't come on here to aesthetically. Nobody can ever make me feel like I'm down way more than how I really am right now, cause I ain't even trying to be slowing down. I'm just going at it. You're gonna be assuming that I'm taking something that is performance enhancing, when the case is not even that to begin with. I don't need to be looks maxing in order to be looking a certain type of way. That's my fashion. I go raw with it, with the bad hair and the bad looking face. Yeah, you wanna be throwing hate. Yeah, I'm really fucking solid. That's how I'm made. How I grew up, you're never gonna be surviving it to begin with. Some of you people out here were born rich. You just fucking nerds sitting in front of a computer. You just clicking. You thinking is making a whole bunch of glitches. That's what I'm really thinking. I'll be rapping and rapping it up until you can't even differentiate the corners from the ridges. I'm really strategic, I'm a rap infant, but I'm coming up as it is. I'll be doing these streams in order to be reiterating and making it known again and again, like I'm trying to be opening up a lesson. I guess that I am the professor for sanded, cause nobody is ever gonna be reaching it. I'll be looking, I'll be surveying at staff, they be looking at me and they be betting that I'll be failing, but I wanna be inspiring and doing all that I can, because I came to be serving and I'm about the business. And best believe that when it comes to all these different dishes of rapping, serving, not gonna be even stomaching the rawness and the aggression and the feistiness that I be bringing, because nobody could ever be in the position to be overlapping the mouths that I be covering, because nobody's ever gonna be, even attempting to be climbing the ladders that I'm even reaching, because at this point we're having is situated. Rapping is about being ingenious and improvising in real time, and best believe me that what I'm rapping right now is not even scripted, teleprompted. Because I bet something, even if I was looking at that big screen, it was gonna end up clear, because I'm the anomaly when it comes to all of these energies and frequencies surrounding me. And anybody wanna be in denial, they better skip it. You better be skipping. This English is not even right to begin with, because I'm Swati, that is not even my original language. That I'm deciding to be picking as my way of yeah, I'm just covering miles, and even if this phone glitches up on me, I'm not gonna react, because I'm gonna get to remember what I can. I'm using a droid, man. The lower source, the lower the lower the lower the thing, I did that shit deliberately. What do you think of me? Yeah, I'm fananing, mochis to begin with. Young indo let me go. Hey, it doesn't even sense, cause my belly from your mothers, because you are used to lying to your fathers about where you going and who you're gonna be seeing. You quite scheming, I have to be speaking, and even if it sounds like I'm trying to be overlapping things, but I'm just one character who really doesn't give a shit at all about any opinions and about what the general populace is really going with, because I'm not gonna be acting like I'm not gonna be improving in the first place to begin with, as I'm rapping and improvising. Yeah, I'm hypnotizing, and as I'm saying some words, I'm slightly deliberate for me to be fumbling and making it sound like I ain't even properly pronouncing some shit, but you have to be very yeah. They often disregarding. You often wanna make a mistake about who I is. You ain't know what I is. Me, I ain't never bought yeah. All of watching me and be threatened, but I'm not even that big to begin with. It's really ironic. Everything that I be doing and saying is really splendid, sophisticated, hinting the fact that I really am destined for it. All of them contracts, maybe gonna meet a great agent, somebody who has a good personality and not somebody who's seeking to be exploitative. Yeah, I ain't really tentative. You ain't gonna be a tentative when I'm listening to what I'm really trying to be saying myself, cause it's overwhelming. And where I'm from South Africa. Nobody is ever gonna be reaching us, because even if you're gonna be coming down here, you're gonna man, you ain't ever gonna be surviving the savannah, you understand? I hope that I'm clear. Okay. Alright. Okay. First of all, I wanna give some dap to the ones who be watching me. I hope that you are learning some things, you are picking it up. The fact that if you are creating like what I'm attempting right now, you should be hands-on. You should be aware of what's going on. You should act in milliseconds. You shouldn't be passive, because you are desperate, you want progress. That's what I'm saying, I'm preaching. As I'm rapping right now, I'm teaching. I'm not even gonna be sounding like I'm a know-it-all. If you wanna be passive, it's alright, continue, be exiting. Don't be looking back to be, yeah, because I'm not gonna be begging anything to begin with, because I came here to have fun. You get that money, yeah, I'm not not trying to be holding any grudges or making any conclusions upon some things that I'm not even sure of. Yeah, I'm not gonna be coming here and showing off. The thing that I'm gonna be doing on here is just rapping, and be making a whole lot of sense, and some of y'all in denial won't help but buy into it, because you're gonna be listening to this thrashing that I'm bringing, because it's somewhat really direct to anyone who you know being out there who's mainstream rapping. I'm not even direct as I'm rapping, but I'm hinting. Maybe you are. Yeah, assuming that I'm biting somebody. Something that I'm gonna have to be explaining to you is the fact that I love dope things. I'm not even trying to be biting anybody. I'm just inspired by people who are really dope at what I'm doing. The thing that I'm iterating, rapping, attempting. Nobody is ever gonna be giving me any frustration to begin with. All your people out here is just traumatized, and you wanna be passing it to me. It's never gonna be happening, because you see all of these complications that you wanna be flinging towards me. I'm gonna be pacifying everything, because as far as I know, what I'm thinking is very much important, and it's gonna be conclusive, and I'm gonna be very conductive, meaning that in the end of it all, it's very conducive. What I'm trying to be fusing. A lot of people out here be really thinking that I'm really spoofed, and I'm gonna be turning back, but they better be thinking again, because it's never happening. I'm really a genius. Whether some of you are in denial, you better be continuing to be praying to this Lord and Savior that you be thinking about. And I wanna say something. All of these books that you be reading, you haven't read nothing. You have to do a little researching, because you haven't even found any soul searching in the first place to begin with. All of what you look for, all of what you look for, all of what you seek dwells within. That's what I'm trying to be iterating. Nobody is ever gonna be even the biggest inspiration besides me, because I'm going at it. I'm quite resilient. I have a whole man, damn. I have a whole lot of power to be transfusing to a whole lot of people that are willing, a whole lot of people that are probably scripting as I'm rapping, jotting and learning, and probably deriving certain things that are key when it comes to this rapping, freestyling, improvising. Hey, shout out to everybody who's the realest out here, man. You know what I'm saying? My name is Krusher Recs, the aftermother haters, rapper, songwriter, content creator, one of the best rappers of his time. And the slogan doesn't go to the naysayers. I really lose nothing. You know, what I'm really thinking about right now is chilling, because it's been somewhat of a long day when it comes to doing this, right? Probably have some of you entertained and shit, bobbing your heads. I don't know. If that's the case, I'm thankful, man. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Alright. Ooh. Okay. First of all, shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody who's sharing. Shout out to everybody who shares the profile. Shout out to everybody who shares the live. Shout out to everybody who gives me that like button. Shout out to everybody who hits that like button. Of course, to the people who are new to the channel, do indeed hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you click the notification bell in order to boost the algorithm. Comment in order to boost the algorithm. And make sure to keep on having the conversation of hip hop, rap. What happened to real rappers? What happened to real hip hop music? What happened to the real essence of rapping? You see, keep on having the conversation, and I hope that I spark such, the conversation, the fire, the passion, the drive. Well, and with that being said, I'm gonna see you when I see you. See you on the next one. You know what's going on though. Peace out.